joined by Bill Norton with Duke Energy. As always, we will hear from Avril Pinder, County Manager. Before we get started, though, the news of the fires in California is heartbreaking, and we can identify in a whole new way with those evacuating and losing so much, including friends, neighbors, and loved ones. Our hearts go out to all of those impacted by these devastating wildfires and to the first responders who we know are firsthand are risking it all. Avril?
Good morning. The weather is top of mind for all of us today, and certainly preparing to go into a winter storm looks different than it did last winter. Beginning at 7 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be under a winter storm watch. With the extremely cold temperatures we've been experiencing, we know that it won't take much for precipitation to cause slick roads and sidewalks. While we aren't anticipating any outages, we'll hear more about those preparations from Bill. Now is the time to make sure that flashlights are charged, extra water is on hand, and you've got non-perishable food just in case. These brutal temperatures are extremely hard, or especially hard on our unhoused community. And code purple remains in effect today and tomorrow. Shelters are available for single men, single women, women with children, and families. We encourage you to spread the word to ensure people experiencing homelessness are aware of these shelters with more accessibility. During Code Purple events, you will see our register of deeds and our human services building illuminated in purple to let people know as they're passing by that these resources are available. The incoming weather will cause a number of closures. We don't yet have a full list of those from the county, but we do want to share that FEMA's Disaster Recovery Center, located in the Asheville Mall, will be closed tomorrow. This includes both FEMA and the State Emergency Management's Hazard Mitigation Grant Program operations. We'll share our operational changes for Saturday when it becomes available. Our community care stations will be open tomorrow, that's Friday, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., regardless of the weather, unless we simply cannot get staff to those locations, which are Bethel United Methodist, Fairview Ingalls, Owen Pool, and Margaret Hill Baptist Church. On Saturday, they will open at 10 a.m. and will be open until 7 p.m. If you would like to get notified directly about any county community care stations or FEMA closures due to inclement weather, sign up for Code Red alerts by texting DC Alert to 99411 or go to buncombecounty.org/code red. Again, if you want to get notifications directly about any county community care stations or FEMA closure, you can sign up for Code Red alerts by texting DC Alert to 99411 or go to buncombecounty.org/code red. We'll share any updates about impacts to county operations later today. Now we will review resources available for those impacted by Helene. Our Hazard Mitigation Grant, or HMGP, is available to support property owners with funding for various mitigation strategies, including elevation, home mitigation, reconstruction, and acquisition. This program is 100% voluntary. State representatives are at the Asheville Mall, weather permitting, today until 6 p.m. Remember, they will not be open tomorrow. You can access more details about the program and the application for HMGP online at buncombeready.org. Two important deadlines to keep in mind for those needing assistance from Helene. Helene survivors have until February the 6th, 2025, to apply for FEMA assistance, which can cover rental aid, utility costs, and other disaster-related expenses. To apply, go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362 or visit the Asheville Mall Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. But please remember again, they will be closed tomorrow. Again, you can call 1-800-621-3362 or go to disasterassistance.gov. Secondly, the same February 6th deadline applies to disaster unemployment assistance. Residents and business owners in Buncombe County or other affected areas may apply if their employment was impacted by Hurricane Helene. You can apply at des.nc.gov. A quick reminder for those in the Transitional Shelter Assistance Program. Please check in with your lodging provider to check on the status of your lodging details to avoid any interruptions in your lodging opportunity. For FEMA Direct Leasing Program. Are you a property owner who wants to help in the Helene recovery? If you have a residential property that can be used as temporary housing for eligible applicants, FEMA Direct Leasing registration is open until January 13th. Properties sought for immediate rental can include single-family homes, multifamily homes, apartments, cooperatives, condominiums, and townhomes. Interested property owners can reach out to FEMA-lease-PR@fema.dhs.gov. Again, that is FEMA-lease-PR@fema.dhs.gov. Now, some details on help with heating bills. The Low Income Energy Assistance Program, providing a one-time vendor payment to help eligible households pay their heating bills, is now open to all households that meet criteria, including income eligibility. To apply, please visit epass.nc.gov. That is epass.nc.gov. Another program is a Disaster Energy Assistance Program. Starting next week, Buncombe County residents can apply for disaster energy assistance funding to provide financial support with utility bills, reconnect costs, deposits, meter repair, as well as propane, fuel, natural gas, insulation replacement, and other home heating expenses. Buncombe County residents can start applying next Wednesday, January 15th at buncombecounty.org. Moving to debris removal. Debris removal continues to be a priority for the community. As of today, Thursday, January 9th, 694,384 cubic yards of debris have been removed from the public right-of-way. That's in Buncombe County, Black Mountain, and the city of Asheville. Today, there are 34 trucks running in Buncombe County for right-of-way collection. There are 26 tree crews operating in the county, and debris crews are currently active at Lake Julian Park. For right-of-way pickup, please separate your debris and place them within 10 feet of the right-of-way. Please be mindful of the safety of crews in the area assisting in recovery efforts. We ask that commuters respect traffic control measures in place for debris removal. More than 2,000 homeowners in Buncombe County have applied to get help with moving their debris to the right-of-way. This program assists property owners who can't move debris to the curb and lack adequate debris removal insurance. Intake centers are located at the Black Mountain Library, Barnesville Fire Department, Swannanoa Fire and Rescue, that's the Bee Tree Substation, and Fairview Library. Please check buncombecounty.org before headed out for any closures. For more details or to apply, visit buncombeready.org. The solid waste transition is ongoing, and winter weather may impact collections tomorrow. Of course, some FCC customers have experienced delay in pickup this week, and crews are working to complete those collections. If you have any questions, please contact the FCC customer service team at 828-820-7022. We also have an issue tracker available at buncombecounty.org/solid waste, where you can note issues with collections. If you still have vehicle carts for pickup. Please leave them or debris that is in an unsafe area. You can call Waste Pro at 828-585-5074. Again, the number for Waste Pro, if you still have carts for pickup, is 828-585-5074. Changes like these are never easy, and we genuinely appreciate your patience through this transition. And we will continue to service you as quickly as we can. FCC is out today, and you might have some delays due to weather tomorrow. And we apologize for that in advance, but we will make sure that your trash is picked up before the end of the week. Thank you. And I'll turn it over to Ryan Cole, Assistant Director for Emergency Services.
Good morning, and thank you for being with us today with the impending weather on the forefront. And as many of you are aware, we do have this weather coming in from the south. For those of you who have been in the mountains for a while, that's where we do tend to get heavier snows that come in and assist us with some beautiful landscape, but also some problematic issues that we have with that wintry precipitation. This is projected to hit between 11 and 1 tomorrow. And so we want to make sure that everyone is being mindful of that and prepared for the storm. So as you go out tonight and prepare and get your milk and bread, make sure that you're also getting other supplies. And we always want to make sure that people are prepared for 72 hours in case you are out of power for that time period. Make sure that you have everything there. This snow is probably going to stick to the surfaces very quickly, and especially on our back roads that probably will not be treated and are in shaded areas. And so that is going to call for some very slick conditions that we have. Our first responders will be extremely busy whenever the snow hits, and we're asking you to please stay off the roads unless you absolutely have to be out. If you have to be out, make sure that your vehicle is equipped to be in the snow, not only with four-wheel drive, but also with tires that can actually traverse the slick surfaces. Be very mindful that the temperatures are going to drop significantly after the snow hits, and the night after that, most of that will probably be ice, which will be extremely difficult to transverse as well. Be prepared for power outages. I know many of the people in the community now have generators, and we need to be very mindful in how we use those generators. Make sure that they are placed at least 12 feet away from any structure, and the exhaust is not going into the structure, even with the generator placed out away from the structure. Make sure you also have working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. One thing that if you have not checked the battery in your smoke detector, and it is a hardwired smoke detector with battery backup, when your power goes off, you may be looking for batteries. So go ahead and get those 9-volt batteries and change those out so that you're not having to find those when the power goes off. Make sure you also have good light sources. You've got batteries in your flashlights, and your flashlights are ready to go, because with this coming in over the night, it very well could have, it could be in the dark when you're trying to find this. Make sure that you stay inside and are not out getting exposure. I know everyone, as we get a little bit of snow, your kids are going to want to get out and do some sledding out in the yard. Be sure that when you're out doing the sledding that you do have a very good landing zone to crash into, and you're not sledding towards trees where you could get significant injuries, but also make sure that you're watching for those small appendages that they're not turning blue. We want to make sure that we keep our kids nice and warm while they're out there, and we don't have anything that's going on. You can always check the real-time road conditions at drivenc.gov so that you can see what areas are impacted in Western North Carolina. Please keep in mind that many of our back roads, side roads, and secondary roads are still damaged by the hurricane, and we have a lot of those roads that are going to be further compromised once we put snow and ice on them. So make sure that we're staying off of those roads as much as possible. But if you have to go out, use extra caution there, where that some of these roads are still not built back to the standards in which they were before the storm. We also have the Red Cross is also in place to assist us in the event that we need that during the storm in many different areas. And we have things in place. One of the things that everyone in this community did a phenomenal job of during our recent disaster was neighbors helping neighbors. This also holds true in this event. We want to make sure that we're out helping our neighbors. It might be helping someone shovel a sidewalk so that they can get out from their home. It might be making sure that someone can get out the road and assist them with that. Be sure to check on your neighbors and take care of them. Make sure that you have a sustainable option. We have non-conventional housing that we're utilizing right now in many paths. If at any point in time that becomes unsustainable for someone who has been impacted by tropical or Storm Helene, the FEMA is still taking applications and assisting people with the temporary housing solutions, and you can still utilize that if you're if the housing is no longer sustainable. So please reach out and utilize that as a resource. Please help us to protect you by being prepared, assisting your neighbors, and helping make sure that we don't become the emergencies that we have during the storm. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. One more piece of advice that our folks from our animal services and Buncombe County Animal Shelter want us to make sure is that we remind folks to please bring your pets in during this very cold weather so that they have a chance to be safe and warm as well. Now we will turn things over to Bill Norton with Duke Energy. He's joining us virtually, and he's going to share how Duke Energy is preparing for inclement weather in this region. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, thanks, Ray. You hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm getting a little bit of an echo. Are you hearing that?
We are not hearing your echo.
Okay, I will plow through it. Okay, it seems to have gone, so good. You know, as everyone knows by now, we've got severe weather coming. So Duke Energy has implemented its storm response plan. Our crews are in position now. We have equipment and supplies ready, and we're prepared to respond if outages occur. As of today, meteorologists do not expect this to be a major widespread outage event for Western North Carolina, but we never count on that because a change of temperature by just 1 degree can make a massive difference. So we plan our crews as if there will be significant power outages, and we ask our customers to plan for the same. My biggest ask is that you prepare today, as Ryan was just talking about. This is for yourself and for first responders like our utility crews and others. Roads are going to be unsafe to drive on tomorrow and over the weekend. So if you have the ability to stay home once the precipitation starts, please do. Because in any storm like this, we get outages not just from trees coming down onto power lines, but from vehicles sliding off the road and hitting power poles. So for your safety and ours, please take care of your supplies today. Do not wait until tomorrow. So that's, checking your supply of flashlights, batteries, bottled water, non-perishable foods, pet food, don't forget them, and especially medicines. Make sure your mobile phones, laptops, backup batteries, make sure they're all charged throughout the storm. If you've got a generator, get fuel for it now. And as Ryan was talking about it, when you use it, please follow the manufacturer's instructions to ensure your safety. Always operate that generator outside, never in a building or in a garage. And especially if you or a family member rely on electricity for medical needs, please have a plan in place if you lose power for an extended period of time, just in case. Beyond the topic of the immediate storm preparation, we've gotten a lot of questions about the grid's stability in Western North Carolina after Helene. And the good news is we've made substantial progress in re-strengthening our grid. In the months after the storm, we had Duke Energy crews here in Western North Carolina from elsewhere in the state. For example, our coastal crews, our triangle crews, they were working on rotating shifts to continue with Helene issues that might threaten reliability in the future. So they inspected lines all the way from our substation to the power meters on your home, looking for potential problem spots. For example, they might find a pole that wasn't damaged enough to cause an outage immediately after Helene hit, but it could be a problem in the near future. We've been doing the same thing for vegetation crews, with our vegetation crews looking for damaged trees that hadn't come down yet, but could fall in high winds or heavy snow and ice. And it's been working. For example, we had heavy winds in the mountains this past weekend. As of Monday morning, we only had 660 customers without power across the state. Most of those were actually outside of Western North Carolina. So that grid rehardening work, that vegetation work, it all adds up, it all helps. But this storm is going to be another test of all that hard work, and not every tree issue is visible. We will have trees and branches come down on the lines. So that's where our larger grid investment helps significantly. Over the last 2 years, we've doubled the number of customers who benefit from self-healing and automated restoration technologies across the Carolinas. Last year, 2024 in total, self-healing technology helped avoid more than 1.1 million customer outages across the Carolinas, saving about 3.3 million hours of total outage time. If you're not familiar with it, self-healing technology works kind of like GPS on a highway. Just like that GPS system finds an alternate road to route you around an accident, our technology will reroute power if it's possible to do so. Now, if that tree has taken down the pole right outside your home, obviously we can't reroute around that. But even then, self-healing is helping you because others nearby will have fewer outages, meaning our crews can get to your outage faster. The bottom line is we will have outages during the storm. So again, please prepare now. If your power does go out, you can report it a number of ways. You can visit duke-energy.com/outages on a computer. You can text out to 57801. You can call our automated reporting system at 800-POWER-ON. That's 800-769-3766. And you can visit our interactive outage map on our website to find up-to-date information on outages, including restoration times, once we've inspected the damage and been able to create that restoration estimate. You can also get that same information on the Duke Energy mobile app. Today, before the storm hits, would be a great day to download that app from the Apple Store or Google Play if you have not already done so. After a storm hits, restoring power safely and as quickly as possible is our top priority while keeping our customers informed. So if your power does go out, please know we're going to get it restored as fast as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And he gave some important phone numbers there. We also have a list of important phone numbers that you need during inclement weather on our website at buncombecounty.org. We'll make sure that that is front and center for you to access. Of course, check those real-time road conditions at drivenc.gov. DOT wanted to be here with us today, but they have their media update at 11 today in Hendersonville. So, but they are busy out working on doing some road preparation. Just a reminder, a county does not maintain any roads. So DOT is going to be your resource for those state roads. Now we want to open it up to questions from the media who are joining us on a separate Zoom link. The city of Asheville has a council work session this morning, so we don't have any of their representatives here with us today to answer questions. But Ryan, Averill, and Bill are here for folks who have additional questions.
Hey Lillian, it's Taylor with News 13. How are you? I wanted to bring it back real quick to FEMA's transitional sheltering assistance program. I know we've seen for a lot of households the hotel vouchers are ending for them tomorrow. When I was looking at the numbers earlier this morning, more than 1,400 of the households are Buncombe County residents. I just didn't know with the storm coming in and everything tomorrow, if there was any extra shelter or assistance the county might be opening up for residents who might not have anywhere tomorrow, if there was any sort of extra plans with that.
So like Ryan shared, Red Cross is standing by and Red Cross is our shelter partner. And if we need to open additional shelters due to widespread power outages, we would work with the Red Cross to get those open in the county for individuals who need sheltering assistance due to this winter storm. Of course, if you are someone who has been impacted by Hurricane Helene and your home is not inhabitable, going through FEMA is the right way to go because you can have those housing options available to you. Still taking applications, please go through FEMA because they do have that housing assistance available right now.
Hey Lillian, it's John Boyle from Asheville Watchdog. Welcome back, and have a couple of questions for Miss Pender.
Okay. Want to go ahead and start while she's walking up?
Sure. It's about debris removal. I'm sure y'all hear from folks too, but I've been hearing from a lot of folks with concerns, questions about feeling like their area is skipped. Sometimes even to the point where like the next door neighbor's debris gets picked up and theirs does not. And then I've had a couple people ask, and I realized she ran through these numbers of 33 trucks on the road, 26 tree crews, which is a lot. But people asking, can you not hire more companies? And I think people see the influx of which the money hasn't come, but this $1.4 billion influx, and people are asking, can't they put more money towards debris pickups?
Yeah. And with the debris collection, I do want to point out, again, the trucks are picking up different types of debris. So it could be that you have construction and demolition debris at your house. Your neighbor has vegetative debris. The vegetative debris truck is coming through to collect that debris. So that's why they're going to skip your house. We've got to keep those debris streams separated because they are going to different end locations. So that is an important piece for folks to remember. We also really need folks to make sure you're not placing debris under power lines where we can't safely reach those with the grapple hook, because we don't want to create a new issue for Bill and his folks where we have inadvertently disconnected power at a home. So the safety of those debris locations is also key. But Avril's here and I'll turn it over to her.
Okay, thank you, Lily.
Good morning, John. Did that answer your question about skipping as they were picking up?
It did. And I'm got two questions for you. First of all, if there is any possibility of hiring more crews, more trucks. Yeah, I know you got a lot on the road, but is there any possibility of adding that?
So as you might recall, we actually have the United States Corps of Engineers doing the collection for us on debris, and that's a contract through FEMA. And then they subcontract to our local vendors. So when we say 20 some trucks, that's just in Asheville, but then they also have trucks working in that's just in Buncombe County. They also have trucks working in Madison County and Transylvania County as well. So they're pretty widespread. They're also going to start working for us on taking up the backyard that we've been talking about, that PPDR. That's going to get turned on next week as well. So they have really ramped up the staffing and the subcontractors here in our community to make sure that they can pick that up. John,
Has the county requested additional?
I think they already have done that as they're turning on different things, as they're turning on that PPDR in the backyard. But as you might remember early on, the estimate was of anywhere from 7 to 10 million cubic yards of debris in our community. So it's going to take a long time. They are using a lot of trucks. They have been bringing in more trucks. And I would ask that question too, if there are more trucks that they can bring. But they have brought as many trucks as possible, I think, on our community. But we can ask that question again to see if there's any more that they can bring to our community.
Yeah, and you just touched on the second part of this question. I know early on you said this was going to be a very long process. And I think it's just hard for people to grasp just how difficult this is and how much debris. When you've got 600 and almost 700,000 cubic yards, but you got 10 million to go. Does this give us or 9 million, 9.4 million to go? Does this give us a good indication if it's been 3 months to get this amount up? So you could extrapolate from that basically every 3 to 4 months you might get 1 million cubic yards, and then that's going to take X number of months or years.
I think it's going to take several more months to pick up all the debris. And what we did say today as well is that we are about 95% of that first pass. We talked about several passes to pick up all the debris. What that first pass meant is what people could afford to bring to the curb early on. So that first pass is about 90% picked up. Now we're seeing new people bringing new stuff out as they continue to clean up, as they continue to if it is to clean out their homes or if it's clean up their yards, we're seeing new trash come. So even if we went down one street on day one, as we're going back through them and surveying our streets, we're seeing new debris on the side as well. So we know it's going to take multiple passes. We ask people not to bring too much to overcrowd the right away. And we're seeing that second wave is starting now. That first survey that we did, that we got picked up in most areas of our county, I think only Swannanoa and Barnersville is about 95%. All the other parts of our county is about 99% for that first wave. You will see them coming back again to get the second wave of debris. So,
Okay.
and John,
And are y'all still?
The one thing we haven't started yet, John, is that tidal property, which is your cars or your boats or your trucks that have been on the side of the road. That's also part of that 10 million cubic. So it's not just the vegetative debris, it's all debris. That is going to start the tidal property. Our goal is to start that by the 20th of June, where you can start seeing those trucks getting hauled off, getting pulled out of the rivers. That should be started by the end of the month. That's some of the debris that we also have included in that 10. And waterways, the debris that's in our waterways, that hasn't started yet. And we're hoping to get all that contracts and all those trucks coming in to start that work by middle of February.
Middle of February. Okay. I think you said June at one point. Did you mean the end of January?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. January. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to be clear. And then last question, and I know y'all have kind of discouraged folks from taking stuff to the dump themselves. Are y'all still doing that, or can folks take their own stuff if they want to?
We're trying to discourage that vegetative debris. We really don't want that in our landfill if possible. So if we can get that picked up and processed, which means you're shredding it and hauling it off and not going into our landfill and taking up airspace, that will still be the preferred process.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Thanks, John.
Additional questions from folks on the call? I know Blue Ridge Public Radio is on. Anything in the chat? Angelica's shaking her head no. All of the information we shared today and more can be found at buncombeready.org. You can also call 828-250-6100 if you have questions regarding Helene recovery, debris, residential trash pickup, and more. That's our One Buncombe call center. I want to reiterate, as we move into this winter storm, please sign up for those text alerts. We'll keep you posted on operational changes, emergency information, and more. So you can stay up to date by texting BC Alert, doesn't matter if you use caps or lowercase or whatever, to 99411, or go to buncombecounty.org/code red. We'll send out updates about community care station, operational impacts, anything like that happens over the weekend. So please sign up. We also have a schedule change that we want to make y'all aware of regarding the community briefings. So starting next week, community briefings will only be held on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. So Wednesdays only 11 a.m. for the community briefing once a week moving forward. And finally, as we wrap up, we honor and reflect the life of President Jimmy Carter on this National Day of Mourning. Our flags remain at half staff, and federal offices, including the post office, are closed today. We'll leave with his own words shared in a Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech. The bond of our common humanity is stronger than the divisiveness of our fears and prejudices. Thank you. We'll see y'all on Wednesday.